welcome to Off the Press, the program where we take a look at the national dailies and try to make sense of it on this Monday morning. And with me to continue to take a look at the issues of our nation and beyond, of course, is still the security expert, Dickson Osajie. Good to have you on this segment again. All right, so we are going to look at a couple of papers this morning. We have the Punch newspaper, we have The Nation, we have Vanguard, and we'll go to This Day also at some point. But we shall begin with the Punch newspaper. I believe it will be displayed soon. Aviation industry contributed 0.14% to GDP in 2019. That's according to the Bureau of Statistics there, and that story is on page 31. Now, anti-Oshomole forces weakening APC. Buhari regime, Tinubu warns. That story is on the front page there, displayed, but this is actually on page 2. Opponents soft pedal to offer party national chairman resignation option. Interesting. 8 arrested for killing police inspector in Ogun. Page 4, Kwara probes civil service to weed out ghost workers on page 10. And the big story you can see there on your screen is oil crash. Nigeria may lose $8.63 billion in 6 months. Recession looms, says LTCI, Nupeng and Pengason. Operators canvass deregulation, economic policy review. And again, we have the story from yesterday's explosion. Principal and 16 others killed. 50 houses razed in Lagos gas plant explosion. That story is on pages 4 and 5. And LASU Vice Chancellor orders beneficiaries of dubious promotions appointments. And that's ASU official on page 7. And fake naval officer arrested for mutilating man's private parts on 4 and 5. What kind of story is that on a Monday morning? Sad. And Fayemi meets with Alafin over face-off with Ekiti Bonax on page 22. Let's begin this morning, again, Dickson, with the explosion story, I guess. Earlier on, you were talking about critical structures, and how ideally a nation should be able to protect people who are vulnerable, and as much as the critical structures are also vulnerable. In that light, one will wonder, why do we have a school close to a place like that? Because in fact there was a boarding school, and unfortunately the principal is one of the dead now as we speak.
Yeah, you see, here in our climb we don't consider risk. We don't carry out risk assessment. There are like talking about the critical infrastructure. You should be able to project necessary risk implications, because we just think we can just build our houses, build a church, even close to hellfire. Some people want to, build a house, just because they want to live. They don't care about their lives, They don't really know that human lives are irreplaceable.
Right.
Yeah, if you feel and understand that human lives are irreplaceable, you have value for that. Because we are in our own climb, we have more respect and more zeal for the replaceables, cars, vehicles, houses. But the human life is irreplaceable. When you're gone, you're gone. And it's quite regrettable that a school is very close to a gas plant. That is the fault of the government, not the school himself. Because the government should know that within the pipeline, in a matter of 500 meters, there should not be any housing within that area. They should buy the space, Buying the space is that, because the truth is that when we talk about fire, fire could be activated through various means. There's what we call the triangle of fire. Okay. We have the fuel, we have the heat, and once the fueling could be material things. When we talk about fuel, it could be materials, it could be building, it could be papers, it could be wood, it instigates the fire. You understand? So the fuel itself is there, then the oxygen, the fire needs oxygen to succeed. Right. You understand? So what the government should have done for the fire not to have that oxygen, they should have be able to confine those pipes, so that it will not get more oxygen. Okay, if peradventure there's no way to confine those pipes to gain more oxygen, because for fire to excel, you need oxygen. Because sometimes when there is fire in the house, you see people, open the window, open the window, open the window. You don't open windows when you have fire outbreak. Because when you open windows, the fire will gain more energy and flame up. So you have to shut it down. So the energy, the oxygen, I mean to say, gave that outburst a magnanimous conflagration. So what the government needs to do going forward is that it should carry out a risk assessment of our critical infrastructures. Infrastructures that are detrimental to the survival of man, you know. Any infrastructure that you know that if anything goes wrong, it's going to take human life should be well protected. You don't allow our people to keep dying anytime. But Nigerians will still want to struggle.
Yeah, because I was just going to say, yes, if the government issues maybe ultimatum to these people, you notice that it takes time. Sometimes people refuse to move.
Yeah.
You know, so is it just the government or is it our mindset? Do we need a different kind of orientation to make people understand that you're doing this because it's going to be beneficial to you, or you shouldn't do this, you know, because it's going to be beneficial?
Yeah, that's where our societal attitude needs to be worked upon. We really have problem with our attitude here in our own part of the world. You see a Nigerian man that misbehaves, immediately gets to London.
He behaves well.
Oh my God, he comports himself. I remember when I went to London and one of my brothers was shouting, hey, we're just making us. Why did they say, excuse me? Must you shout? You know, they don't understand that fact. But here in Nigeria, you know, we want to shout, welcome. You know, so we need to work on our attitude. When we work on our attitude, we'll continue to get things very, very properly. You know, like coronavirus, you heard about us really send a kind of message to the whole world that whatever we want to do, we can get it right. Imagine going into church, house of worship, you sanitize your hand. Going into offices, you sanitize your hand. Immediately I came into this beautiful edifice, the security officers gave me hand sanitizer. I sanitized my hands. And I asked myself a question. Why is it that this coronavirus has humbled us? I asked myself that question. And I understand that, yes, there is nothing in this world that is not doable. It's doable. We can work on our attitude. Coronavirus has humbled us. We're working on our attitude. Now, what is the problem now? What is the fact there? The fact there remains that the world has got to know that coronavirus is detrimental to the survival of man. So you know that at any given mistake, your life will be eliminated. So we need to take such kind of a view to the human space and let them know. Sensitization now. Hey, this pipeline you're building your house, in case there's an explosion, you will all die. Are you with me? In case there's any outbreak, you will all die. But if they refuse to move, the government should apply a maximum force to take them out and let them see reasons while using the process of courts to take them out from that vicinity, letting them see reason that they shouldn't be here because it's really, really detrimental. And also our government should look at getting the fireballs. You know, if you go to some advanced countries, they have fireballs. You know, fireballs. Yes, fireballs automatically engage the fire. You know, fight the fire or mitigate the fire. At least in every 10 meters, we should have a fireball, so that if there's an explosion, the fireball will be able to mitigate that fire, so that it will not be injurious to the man.
The extent of damage is reduced. Okay, thank you very much for that. All right, let's look at this story of a fake naval officer arrested for mutilating man's private parts. We may not go into details of that, but my point is, how is it that we have fake naval officers? Just 2 weeks ago, a fake soldier was identified in this country. Is there something in the system that does not allow, for due process? What's the process of identification even? How do I know that this person is a real soldier? Is there no sort of identification?
Yeah, you're correct. You see, we have a lot of fake soldiers. In any part of the world, you find people who impersonate. He's impersonating. He has been impersonating, and I think he has been caught impersonating. Even in the army, even in the Lagos and all over Nigeria, we have people who impersonate, and not even the soldiers. Even some people impersonate to be doctor. Some people impersonate to be lawyers. Impersonation is an offense in which our government are not paying more attention to. Sometimes, I think when I was in the military, I learned that if you impersonate being a soldier, I think it's about life imprisonment or how many years imprisonment. There should be a life imprisonment to people who impersonate to be a soldier, because when you impersonate being a soldier and you inflict fear on the citizen, it's criminal for you to have inflicted
Especially
fear.
for someone like this who was
Yes. I remembered, and that is why Nigeria needs to question people. You know, don't just listen to anybody say, hey, I'm a soldier. Question people. I question people, even if I'm driving and you stop me, you say you're a police officer, with your uniform, I'll question you. Can I see your identity card? I think about 2 years ago, I was driving. I wasn't driving. I think I was in the market, and I saw a guy was just like harassing people with a military short knicker. And I tried to respond to the incident, and he shouted at me, he said, don't come here. If you come here, I will finish you here. I said, please, can I know you? He said, I'm a soldier. What do you want to know again? I said, what NA are you?
He didn't know what to respond.
I gave him a code. I said, what NA are you? He said, I'm a soldier. You're asking me NA. What is NA?
Wow.
Immediately I knew he was a fake soldier. Because when I asked him what NA are you, I'm not going to say it on air.
Okay.
Yeah. Immediately I asked him what NA are you, I expected him to justify that question by telling me the NA he is. So he didn't respond to that question. I knew he was a fake soldier. I just picked up my phone and just called the nearest station. I just left there. I went and called the nearest station. I think I couldn't get it. And I just drove down to Pedro police station. And I said, please, can you follow me just an impersonator? Impersonating to be a soldier. I said, how do I know? I said, I'm an ex-soldier. I brought out my ID card and I showed them my ex-service ID card. Because when you are discharged from the military, you have a life ID card that you renew every 5 years, ascertaining you're an ex-soldier, so you can present before the public being a veteran. So I showed them the ID card. They came and picked up this guy, and the guy was dealt with. So this naval guy, I think he has done it with a lot of people, and carrying out, injuring someone's manhood or whatever the case may be, is highly injurious, and he's going to pay for it because it should be used as a deterrence measure so that Nigerians will see that impersonation is a very serious crime. Because we don't take it as a serious crime. We just let people impersonate and they go free. When you impersonate, you should be held accountable and pay for it.
All right, let's move away from that story now. 8 arrested for killing police inspector in Ogun. Again, that's another case of insecurity. As a Nigerian, yes, I say Nigerian, when I see stories like this, I get worried for myself, because if the targets, the police security officers, are being targeted, how safe are the rest of us Nigerians who, may not have security details going back and forth with us?
Yeah. You see, in the early days, if there's an incident happening in, let me say, on the mainland, for example, let me just say Keja, and we are asked to advance to that location. There was maybe some soldiers from Bonny Camp here are asked to go to that location to forestall that accident. Immediately we take off from Bonny Camp. I think when they perceive or they hear that soldiers are coming, they will disappear.
Everybody disperses.
You understand? The fear is there, the discipline is there, and the action is there. Now, for people to come up and be killing security agencies tells you that our security agencies are losing values. Why are they losing values? They've been monetized. Why are they being monetized? Because most of them have been politicized, I mean to say. Why are they being politicized? It's because they've refused to remember their core value of being a security officer, of being a soldier, of being a military. I was in a checkpoint one time in 1999 during the Bakassi War, and a lady was smuggling something in, and she gave me a tip. I almost went nuts, because we were meant to believe that if you are giving a tip as a soldier,
it's an insult.
Your integrity has been abused. You understand what I'm saying? So I still have that mindset. Each time I do anything for any person, when you give me money, I feel irritated. But now the narrative has changed. Our soldiers have been so much politicized. Even if you see the last general election, what went wrong, I was so disappointed. I sent a lot of letters that they have to be very careful, because each time you contribute to the spate of insecurity, you are crediting the account of instability, because one day you withdraw from that account. You withdraw from that account. So for this policeman to have been killed, I don't know what led to that incident and what went wrong. Is it that the 8 people were aggrieved, or is it that the police officer, they are criminals? Or is it that they just intend to send a message to the police, because most people just feel they can kill at liberty, kill with immunity? And so I think the Nigerian police should look into that very seriously. In the early days, when you kill a soldier, the city will be shut down. Yes. I think I remember there was a time a policeman as well shot a soldier dead. That was in Calabar. We shut down Cross River State. It took the intervention of General Obasanjo for us to go back to the base. You don't take human life like that and think you go scot-free. Yeah. So those people should be chased and well punished, and deterrence measures should be served.
Yeah, before we leave the Punch to another newspaper, you know, without trying to justify tipping, I'm not justifying that. I'm not saying it's the right thing to do. I'm not saying people should go around bribing police officers or security personnel. But again, you know, there have been arguments that if these people are well taken care of, you know, they may not be tempted to look the other way. You know, so again, it boils down to the welfare. Are they well paid? Do you think as security policemen, for instance, are well paid, starting from their vehicles, the way they look like? Are they taken care of?
Amaka, there is nothing in this planet Earth that should justify crime
and
unethical behavior.
I agree with you.
Nothing justifies that, because if there are rules and regulations in place, and you justify those rules and regulations by carrying out a criminal act simply because you're not taken care of, is unprofessional. That must not be justified. When I joined the army, then my first salary in my entire life was about 2,800 naira.
That was in what year?
That was in 1998. Okay. Yeah. So then Abacha, General Absalam came and increased it to about 4,000 naira. We were living fine with that. We were living okay with that. Despite the fact the money was not okay for us, but the discipline was there. Now, any soldier, any policeman that goes around taking a bribe from everything, I think it's unprofessional of him. Because first of all, you are telling the world that you're not well taken care of, the military is not taking care of you. Okay, like in my own organization, I told, like my company now, I made it a standard operating procedures that whoever begs on duty is summarily dismissed. I dismiss my security operatives that begs on duty. I take good care of them, and whenever I'm going for that job, I ensure their well-being. But it's a dismissal offense when you beg on duty. So we must look into that first of all, so that we don't, that's where see finish comes to play. When you say see finish, as in they don't have respect anymore, because there was a video that went viral some few weeks ago where you saw a police officer being recorded point blank with his identity, trying to ask for money. Those guys should be arrested, jailed, and sent away, because even if you pay some people 1 million naira, they will still commit crime. You understand? That is just the truth, because it's like, then there was an argument I had with a debate we have that does unemployment contribute to crime? Oh, it does, but it does not justify that. So we must not. We must understand that yes, crime is crime, wrong is wrong, and evil is evil, and unprofessionalism is unprofessionalism. But in moving forward, our government should also look at taking care of these people, because it's not everybody that has the mindset to maintain such high spirit of integrity. Because